Welcome to this explainer. Did you know that one simple misplaced traffic ticket in the Chicago area can literally snowball into a warrant for your arrest? Crazy, right? If you've recently been handed a ticket in Cook County, you might be feeling, well, pretty overwhelmed. Navigating the bureaucratic maze of the Circuit Court of Cook County, it's kind of like trying to solve a giant puzzle in the dark. But hey, don't worry, because that is exactly why we're here today. We're going to break down absolutely everything you need to know about finding your court date, tracking your citation, and most importantly, protecting your driving record.
Let's start with a really high-stakes question. What actually happens if you just miss it? Or, what if you can't find your ticket in the system and just decide to stay home? It's a scenario that causes a ton of anxiety, and honestly, for very good reason, because the system does not look kindly on a failure to appear.
The consequences are incredibly severe. If you ignore a ticket, the court doesn't just forget about it. No way. You could be hit with an ex parte conviction, which is basically a judgment made completely in your absence. You could face a suspended driver's license. For misdemeanors or felonies, they might literally issue a bench warrant for your arrest. And if you're an out-of-state driver, don't think you're off the hook. Illinois reports these failures to appear right back to your home state, which can trigger a reciprocal suspension. The court makes it crystal clear. Knowing your court date is 100% your responsibility.
To help you survive this system, here's our roadmap for today. First, the cost of missing court. Second, checking your ticket online. Third, phone and in-person options. Fourth, the ghost ticket dilemma. Fifth, fixing ex parte convictions. And finally, number 6, resources and final takeaways.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The cost of missing court. Take a look at the official seal of the Circuit Court of Cook County. It's a pretty powerful reminder of the authority and the sheer gravity of the system we're dealing with here. This isn't just some customer service dispute, It's a formal legal proceeding. When an officer hands you a citation that clearly says you must appear, that is a hard and fast legal mandate.
So, if you miss court for a petty offense, the judge is typically going to enter an ex parte judgment. Essentially, this means a default conviction and a fine gets slapped on your record in your absence. And this conviction, it's automatically reported to the Illinois Secretary of State. Now, if you rack up multiple moving violations, say 2 within 24 months if you're under 21, or 3 within 12 months if you're older, your license is getting suspended. And if you hold a commercial driver's license, a CDL, this is absolutely critical because delays in convictions can directly threaten your employment and your livelihood.
Moving right along to Section 2, checking your ticket online. Let's walk through how to actually use these online portals. So, the clerk of the Circuit Court runs a portal called Pay My Case, but be warned, they use some really strict data validation protocols. First, you absolutely have to enter your exact first and last name exactly as it's printed on the citation. Then you've got to provide 2 secondary identifiers. That could be your citation number, your date of birth, your zip code, or your driver's license number. Just remember, if you don't plug in exactly 2 of those secondary pieces of info, the system just won't pull up your scheduled court appearance. It's super picky.
Now, if you strike out there is a backup plan. There's an alternative system known as the Odyssey database, or the Online Case Information Electronic Docket Search. This one is generally used for digging up historical cases or active misdemeanor and petty traffic cases. To use this effectively, you're going to need your actual case number, or you'll have to search by your name while specifying the exact court division and the year of filing.
But what if the website is just totally down? That brings us to Section 3, phone and in-person options. Let's look at the analog alternatives.
The Cook County court system is actually geographically split into 6 different municipal districts. District 1 handles all the traffic tickets issued right within the city limits of Chicago. That court is located at the Richard J. Daley Center downtown. And a quick heads up, there's absolutely 0 public parking available there, aside from those super expensive commercial garages. Now, districts 2 through 6, those cover the suburbs like Skokie, Rolling Meadows, Maywood, Bridgeview, and Markham. The logistics are way easier out there because these suburban facilities all have their own on-site surface lots or parking garages. Just check your ticket. It'll tell you exactly which district you belong to based on the police agency that pulled you over.
If you prefer to just make a phone inquiry, District 1 actually has an automated voice information line at 312-603-2000. You can search for a ticket number there using just your name and driver's license number, or if you already have your ticket number handy and just want to pay your fine by phone with a card, the clerk's office has a dedicated line for the whole shebang. That number is 1-888-497-8701.
Okay, this next part deals with what might literally be the most stressful situation a driver can face. Section 4. The Ghost Ticket Dilemma. We saw this panicked driver on Reddit recently who shared this exact nightmare. They said,
I checked the ticket portal and there are no records found with my ticket number or my driver's license number, so I don't think it's in the system yet. Seriously, if this happens to you, your panic is completely valid. Because of these massive administrative backlogs and some e-citation pilot programs that are still rolling out, it can sometimes take 4 to 6 months for a physical ticket to finally get processed and pop up in the online portal.
So here is the absolute golden rule. Write this down. Always show up on the ticket date, even if your citation is completely missing from the online system. An unfiled ticket doesn't just magically erase your legal obligations. Think about it. If the officer manually enters that ticket into the system a day late and you didn't show up to court because it wasn't online, well, the judge can still enter a default judgment against you.
So here is exactly what you need to do to protect yourself in that scenario. Go to the correct courthouse on the exact date and time written on your citation. Bring your physical ticket with you. Walk right up to the clerk's desk and explain that your ticket isn't showing up in the system. They're going to give you a physical stamp or some piece of written proof that you actually appeared. Getting this proof of appearance is literally your shield. It completely prevents a failure to appear bench warrant from being issued if the officer decides to file that citation late.
But let's say the absolute worst-case scenario has already happened. Let's get into Section 5, Fixing Ex parte Convictions.
Time is absolutely crucial here. Once an ex parte conviction is entered on day 1, the clock is ticking. You have a very strict 30-day statutory window to file a motion to vacate the judgment. You can do this by shooting an email to trafficmotions@cookcountycourt.com or by going in person to the clerk's office and paying a non-refundable fee. If you wait until day 31 or later, it becomes incredibly difficult to vacate that conviction without some exceptionally strong legal excuse for why you missed court and why it took you so long to do something about it. All right, bringing it home. Section 6, Resources and Final Takeaways. First off, the Law Office of the Cook County Public Defender highlights this genuinely amazing proactive tool. The Circuit Court has a court reminder system portal. You can actually sign up for text message or phone call reminders for your court dates. Seriously, use it. It's a game changer. Secondly, advocacy groups like the Chicago Appleseed Center for Fair Courts are doing great work, constantly publishing research and pushing for better court transparency, data portals, and funding for public defenders. They are a fantastic resource if you want to understand the broader systemic issues going on in Cook County.
If you take away only one thing from today's explainer, let it be this one fact. Knowing your court date is solely your responsibility. The system just won't accept "I couldn't find it online" as an excuse. Check early, check often, use those exact search parameters we talked about, and when in absolute doubt, physically show up to the courthouse on the date written on your ticket. Vigilance really is your best defense here.
Finally, please keep in mind that this explainer is for informational purposes only. You should always verify your specific case details independently with the clerk of the circuit court, or consult a legal professional for personal legal advice. Look, bureaucracy is tough, and the system can be incredibly frustrating to navigate. But with the right knowledge, it is absolutely manageable. So what do you say? Are you ready to take control of your court date today? Thanks for hanging out with me, and stay proactive out there.